Hello and welcome to HISD News. I'm Colleen Allen. HISD teachers and students have been preparing for months for the STAAR test, and now students are set to start taking the exams. The first test will be held March 26, and HISD is asking parents to help their children get ready for the new exams. Leela Walsh shows us how one school is getting families involved.
At the Woodson K-8 Leadership Academy, they call the students academic all-stars. They've spent months learning material and concepts that will be covered on the new STAAR tests. Recently, parents got a taste of some of the coursework.
I got to know a little bit about what they're doing in the classes, so far as the math, and I got to hear her answer some of the questions.
Principal Stacy Taylor designed the academic all-star night and asked children to bring their parents to school.
We wanted them to really understand what STAAR looks like, what we're doing as a school, what we're doing as a district to prepare for STAAR, and we wanted them to be able to take things away that were tangible that they could actually use at home to prepare their kids for the test.
Is our formula going to change? No. It's still going to be X over total.
Teachers reviewed sample questions and outlined some of the key differences between the old tax tests and the new STAAR exams.
It's a time test. You only have 4 hours to take the test.
The time limit isn't the only change. Questions will be more complex and will have a greater emphasis on critical thinking. There'll be 2 to 3 essays on the writing portion of the test, depending on a student's grade level. And there will be more open-ended questions, in other words, questions that aren't multiple choice on both the math and science tests. After the All-Star celebration, students and their families enjoyed dinner and a basketball game. While it was the students versus the teachers in that game, the principal says when it comes to school, the students, teachers, and parents are all on the same team. She's confident the academic all-stars will be ready for the new tests.
Do you still have questions about STAAR? Stay tuned to the end of the newscast and we'll have answers to some of the most frequently asked questions about the new exam. HISD wants to hear your thoughts on a plan to increase class time next school year. If approved, the plan would add 19 minutes to each school day, which adds up to a total of 7 additional days. To give your feedback on the plan, come on out to one of the 10 public meetings. The first 3 are scheduled for Tuesday, April 3rd from 6 to 7 p.m. at Austin, Bel Air, and Chavez High Schools. For a complete listing and to take a quick survey on the plan, please visit HoustonISD.org. While some high school students spent spring break sunning themselves at the beach or hanging out with friends, nearly 100 students from Furr High School spent the break on campus prepping for the SAT exam.
SAT! SAT!
The school's first spring break SAT boot camp kicked off with a pep rally featuring the school's band and cheerleaders. The 4-day camp included all grade levels and was designed to familiarize students with the importance of the exam and give them test-taking strategies and tips. Participants also got a t-shirt featuring Principal Bertie Simmons dressed up in fatigues.
A lot of our students don't know about SAT, and they don't have enough funds, the parents don't, to get SAT prep for them the way they do in some of the schools. And so we wanted all of our students in the school to learn more about SAT and the importance of having high scores on that exam.
Students received a STAAR pin for every day they attended, making them 4-star generals at the end of the camp. School organizers say the event was so successful that many students are already asking about next year. HISD is one of only a handful of school districts chosen to participate in a prestigious nationwide initiative known as the League of Innovative Schools. The League was created to advance education through the use of technology. Recently, the group held its second meeting right here at HISD. Sarah Osborne has more.
School superintendents from throughout the country loaded up on several HISD school buses and hit the road on March 19th. The destination? A tour of Apollo 20 school campuses to see how the district is incorporating technology in its classrooms.
Let's say he chooses E, hit E.
The tour at Fondren Middle School showcased the campus's use of CPS clickers, also known as classroom performance systems.
Every classroom teacher here on campus has a class set of 30. And so what they're able to do is they can do a ticket out the door, they can give a classroom chapter test, a classroom test, an exam, or if they just want to do a quick review.
In addition to school superintendents, respected researchers and entrepreneurs also took a closer look at some of the technology in HISD schools.
One of the things that I found amazing was the ability for the school to use technology to increase the one-on-one attention with kids. It's really amazing that they're able to personalize the instruction so much when you have so many kids and being able to do that.
The visit to HISD was part of the second meeting of the League of Innovative Schools, which was launched last year by President Obama in conjunction with Digital Promise. Digital Promise is a national center created to advance breakthroughs in education through technology.
It brings together superintendents, other school people, entrepreneurs, researchers, philanthropy, corporate representatives, all focused on the notion of how we can support the transformation of schooling to improve learning for all children through the use of technology.
In addition to touring HISD schools, attendees took part in several breakout sessions on a variety of topics, from blended learning to hiring effective principals.
What are some of the components of the leadership development program that you have in place?
This is the second meeting of the League of Innovative Schools. HISD is one of only 35 school districts in the country chosen to participate.
In 2007, Houston voters approved an $805 million bond referendum to rebuild and renovate HISD schools. Since then, 15 new campuses have opened and several dozen have been improved. This week, Worthing High School was added to the list. Deborah Sanchez has more.
HISD and leaders from the Sunnyside community donned their hard hats and officially broke ground March 21st on the Worthing High School's expansion project.
This is an empowering moment not only for the Worthing High School but also for the entire Sunnyside community.
Worthing students, staff, and board trustee Larry Marshall also took part in the celebration.
Thank you, Houston. Thank you, taxpayers, for making this possible.
The Worthing expansion project is part of the 2007 HISD bond referendum, and Trustee Marshall hopes it sends a clear message to the Houston community.
It says that we, those of us who are part of the Houston Independent School District, are anxious to see all of our kids succeed, and we're anxious to help transform facilities that will help young people in today's era become more school conscious and to become more productive in school.
The campus renovations include a 2-story classroom addition, safety and security upgrades, technology improvements, and repairs to the roof and track.
This is really going to help, so we really appreciate it.
While the improvements will have an immediate impact for students, Worthing's principal says he is thinking more long-term.
I think the long-term impact is that we're going to be able to really make sustainable changes in how we deliver instruction in the classroom that's going to directly affect the scores and the outcomes for the students to be successful.
Time now for the HISD Fast Fact of the Week. Did you know that HISD's conservation program was recognized with the 2012 Leadership in Action Award for Environmental Improvement? The district initiative features energy-efficient building designs, green building practices, fuel efficiency initiatives, and the Green School Challenge for all HISD students. That's it for this edition of HISD News. You can keep up with the latest happenings at HISD by following us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. I want to turn it over now to Leela Walsh in the HISD TV studio, who has a STAAR expert on hand to answer some of the most frequently asked questions about the new state assessment. Leela?
For months, students in HISD have been preparing for the new STAAR exams, and the first of those tests will be given on March 26th. Joining us now to talk a little bit more about it is Richard Blair from the middle school's office. Richard, it's not just middle school students who are going to be taking this test. Who takes it?
Every student in grades 3 through 8 and all first-time ninth graders will take the STAAR test this year.
And in years past, they've taken the TAKS test. How's STAAR going to be different?
STAAR is a more rigorous exam. It is to measure the college and career readiness of our students. And so it's trying to make sure that our students are reaching that higher level of performance.
And of course, every student wants to do well on the test. Parents want their students, their children to do well. How will we determine what the passing standard is?
The passing standards for the high school test, for the EOC tests, will be determined when the tests are taken. So we will know whether or not students passed or not. For grades 3 through 8, we'll be getting raw scores. We won't be getting performance standards set until October. So we'll just know raw scores when the scores come back this spring.
Okay. And so if a child doesn't do well, then what happens?
Students will have opportunity to go to summer school, and some will be highly encouraged to go, and others will just be requested to go. But based on how they perform, but also based on other things, their grades, how they've done in school, attendance, and those types of issues. It is not used for promotion this year in grades 3 through 8. But there will be other opportunities for students who don't do well to get that additional help.
Okay. And one thing that we have been hearing about is some parents saying that their children are nervous about the test, they might have test anxiety. What advice can you give them?
For test anxiety, the best thing to do is come to school every day and do what you need to do your homework, pay attention in class, and just do everything you're supposed to do to learn the material you need to learn. On day of the test, eat a good breakfast, get a good night's sleep before. There are some suggestions of getting exercise, but the Psychological Services Department has actually produced some brochures that are available on the District STAAR website to give more details on what we can do to help with test anxiety in students.
Main thing is, like you said, students just need to do their best, and we know they will. Richard Blair, thanks for joining us today.